Are you planning on retiring in Portugal in 2026? Well, before you pack your bags, there are some things you should be aware of, such as new tax rules that could drastically impact your retirement income. In this video, I will cover all the key financial considerations that UK expats moving to Portugal need to be aware of. For many years, Portugal has been a top retirement destination for British expats seeking sunshine, a relaxed lifestyle, excellent healthcare, and well-established expat communities. But in 2026, financial planning is more important than ever, and a new UK-Portugal tax treaty has somewhat changed the rules. In September 2025, the UK and Portugal signed a new double taxation convention, and this came into effect in 2026. Now, this is important for UK expats retiring in Portugal, as it may change which jurisdiction is able to tax your pension income. So, in 2026, once you become a tax resident of Portugal, most private pensions you may hold, such as workplace pensions or SIPs, will usually be taxable in Portugal and not the UK. This even applies for UK state pensions. However, there are exceptions such as government service roles, for example if you were a civil servant or served in the armed forces or police force. So it's really important to be aware of your pension classification so that you can be sure of which country will be taxing your pension income. Because of these changes, timing when you take your pension withdrawals has become really important. If you take withdrawals whilst you're still living in the UK tax rules will apply. However, if you wait until you become a resident of Portugal, you'll be taxed under the Portuguese system. One key consideration would be taking your 25% tax-free lump sum from your pension. Now, Portugal does not automatically recognise this tax-free treatment, so if you were to wait until after you've become a Portuguese tax resident to take a lump sum like this, some or all of it may be subject to tax. And this is why planning is so imperative before you make any moves. If a pension transfer was part of your retirement planning for Portugal, it's important to note that there are currently no HMRC recognised cure-ops available in Portugal. So if you were to transfer to a cure-ops in another jurisdiction, this would unfortunately trigger an overseas transfer charge of 25%, which does essentially mean losing a quarter of your pension to tax. So for most expats retiring in Portugal, a UK-based international pension structure such as an international SIP may be a much more suitable option. If a pension transfer is not an option for you and you do become a Portuguese tax resident, there is another option that may be worth exploring: the Portuguese compliant investment bond. These bonds allow for tax-deferred growth and often offer long-term tax efficiency. To learn more, you can watch our dedicated video to the Portuguese bond or click the link down below to learn more. There are some other points that often catch UK expats moving to Portugal by surprise, such as ISAs. Unfortunately, Portugal does not recognise the tax-free status of these accounts. Also, any UK rental income you may have, this will usually still be taxed in the UK. However, you will need to declare it on any Portuguese tax returns that you complete. And of course, now that most UK pensions are taxable in Portugal, ensuring that no UK tax is withheld incorrectly is more important than ever. Portugal is still a fantastic destination for retirement in 2026. However, with the recent changes in tax regulations, it's more important now than ever to ensure that you have a solid financial plan in place before you make a move.